Hello and welcome to Nirmal Bang, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiral Dadia. We have with us Mr. Gulia, CEO at SVP Global Ventures, joining in. Welcome to the show, Mr. Gulia, and a pleasure to speak to you.
Thank you. And it's a pleasure again to be on your show. We are grateful to you for giving this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Mr. Gulia, let's start overall in terms of where business is concerned. We have the first quarter numbers that did come in. If you could just help us understand how different has the first quarter of FY22 been if you have to compare it to FY21? Because FY21 in the first two quarters, we did see the impact of COVID that did come in. The first quarter of FY22, some businesses had an impact of the second wave of COVID as well. So how would you actually describe the quarter?
See, it will be quite unfair to compare the two quarters year on year, that is quarter one of FY21 and 22, because quarter one of FY21 had been complete lockdown during that time. So industry was closed. What the government and the industry learned is that there is no point closing the industry completely or putting a complete lockdown. So this time the lockdown was partial and we were allowed to open the industry. And we had learned that lesson. We had taken a lot of precautions. We adopted all the COVID protocols. And as a result, the plant was functional throughout the lockdown period. And surprisingly, we functioned almost 95 to 98% capacity. And the results are showing that the revenue is almost equal to quarter four of FY21.
Right. So overall, with all of this, has Q1 met your internal expectations?
We are quite satisfied with Q1. Normally what happens in the Q4, everyone puts in his best and the results are generally best in Q4. However, when you look at our Q1, though there was a second wave of COVID, which did hamper the manufacturing industry quite a bit, but we were right on top and we have performed very well. The results are as per our expectations. When we look at revenue, it is almost similar to last 3 quarters. That means we have sustained the growth which started in Q3 of FY21, which was at that time 379 crores. And this time in quarter one, we have posted 412 crores. So rather there is a smooth growth which is going on from quarter to quarter. And similar thing is about the EBITDA and PAT. When you look at the EBITDA, it is in quarter 3 we were 85, quarter 4 we were 94. And this time we are 91 crores. And the margins have rather increased than what it was earlier. In quarter 4, our margins were 16.4%. Whereas this in quarter 1, the margin has increased to 22.19% in EBITDA. And the similar story goes on for the PAT. The PAT this time stood 39 crore in comparison to 38 crore of quarter 4 and 33 crore of quarter 3. So there is a very smooth growth in PAT as well. And so is the margin. When you look at the margin, it was 6.74% in quarter 4, whereas in quarter 1, it has increased to 9.51%. So we have shown a sustained and steady growth quarter over quarter.
Right. So is this kind of growth sustainable going ahead, Mr. Gulia, or do you think this is pent-up demand?
No, I feel it is not a pent-up demand. It is sustainable as the pandemic effect, second wave effect is almost gone. And third wave, everyone is expecting whether it will be there or not there. Industry has prepared itself, has learned its lessons. You look around you, the markets are opening up, the malls are opening up, the travels have started happening, the business is picking up, and so is the demand of cotton. The looms which stopped for some time have again started working. There is a surge in the demand of yarn. So I feel the surge which is there in the yarn demand would continue, and the demand for the textile and apparel as such overall would continue to rise in further quarters. And the season is coming, festival season is there. So all these things put together, there will be a good demand.
And what was the capacity utilization in this quarter?
We did quite well, almost around 95% capacity utilization was there. This was Firstly, we had in-house workers, then the workers from nearby places who were there, used to come every day, continued coming. We did adopt the protocols, like we had to increase the buses and all that, but the plant functioned at almost 95 to 98% capacity. It was to certain extent added by the technology also, because the technology which we use is artificial intelligence based. So
Mm.
the human intervention is a little lesser. So even if sometime we get a little slump, or the workers are not able to come, the machines are so good that they take care of it. And also the margins are good because we use quite latest technology. So all these facts put together, the quarter has been good, and the capacity wise, we functioned very well.
Right. And in terms of geographies, where are you seeing traction between domestic as well as exports?
You see, internationally, it will continue to be the Asian and America.
Mm.
However, one change has happened in last about a year and a half is China factor. We are
Okay.
all aware that there are 2, 3 different reasons other than the negative sentiments because of the COVID. The Chinese textile industry itself had suffered. The production had been lesser. The farmers have generally paying more attention to the food grains. So the cotton growth and the cotton crop has decreased in China. Also, there are some labor issues which you are aware that the US has put a ban on Chinese products which are being made in Uyghur, Xinjiang province, which is the major cotton hub of China. So put these together, Chinese space has shrunk from 39% to 31%. And this
Mm.
space huge, which has been now there for us to be taking, and India has put his hands up, and we are filling up this gap. So the traction internationally will continue to be Asian countries. When I look at Asia, it will be India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Vietnam, and these
Mm.
countries, Turkey included. And US would continue to dominate this market.
Right.
And so that is how the market is going to be.
Right. So overall, if you go to see right now, you've mentioned as well earlier that, we already have an order book of around 5,000 odd crores. How much of it is going to be execution in FY22?
What happens that this was right during the time of COVID that we got this order book of 5,000 crore. This will sustain us almost for next 3 years. So we have the orders ready for 3 years. Now, as I said, we are also functioning at 95 to 98% capacity. Added to this, the capacity expansion in Oman has happened, which has included which has doubled our capacity, which was there in Jhalawad. So all these put together, we will be able to sustain and serve this demand, which is there for us to go. And this will help us in big way in revenue generation, as well as decreasing our debt and other things.
Right. So currently, at what capacity is the Oman facility functioning at?
We have just declared the COD for the Oman. Just today itself, rather, the news has come that we have completed the Oman facility expansions, and the operations would start now. It has the capacity of 150,000 spindles and 3,500 rotors. That means the capacity which we have in Jhalawad, almost equal capacity, will start functioning in Oman, and it will start generating the revenue from September onwards. So you see, almost double the capacity will start happening from September onwards, and half the year is still left. So this will add in big way towards the revenue for the company.
Right. Another factor that we would want to consider from the Oman facility is that we do get a lot of strategic logistical benefits, as well as there are corporate tax holidays as well. Now, taking this into consideration, once Oman facility starts contributing to the financials from September 2021 onwards, do we see benefits, trailing in terms of margins and profitability as well?
You see, this was a very big decision by us to go. The chairman, Mr. Vinod Pitti, has taken this decision to go to Oman. Though it is a Middle East country, there are no textile industries out there. But when you look at Oman, it gives us huge operational and logistics benefits. The location itself is so strategically located that 30% of the container trade of the world passes through this Gulf of Aden, and Sohar is bang on Gulf of Aden. Sohar is also a port facility where you logistically it gives a huge advantage that you don't have to use any other transport. The raw material comes to the Sohar port, we manufacture it, and it's a 100% export oriented plant. So the yarn is exported, so cutting huge logistics cost. Also, the government has given a lot of incentives. The cost of funding is low. The power cost is very low. It's almost 40% lesser than what it is in India. And the tax benefits are there almost for 25 years. We are completely 100% owning that. And then the big factor in Oman is the market accessibility to the market, which generally not available from India. What happens that there are free trade agreement between Oman and US, Oman and Turkey, Oman and Pakistan, and this gives us huge advantage for our B2B business of yarn to supply out there. When I put these facts all together, the margins are going to be huge, and since the facility has now started functioning fully, this will add in a big way towards our overall margins for the rest of the finance year.
Right. So with regards to Oman, I think we've invested almost around 1100 odd crores. How has this been funded? How much of it was from internal accruals, and have we raised any debt for the same?
Yes, we did do. It was 30% ratio. 30% was equity and 70% was the debt. But the debt is a very low cost, as I said, almost 4-5%. So that has given us a huge advantage. And of course, the balance was our equity, and that is how this plant has come up, and the capacity is now functioning fully. Yeah.
Okay. And overall, in terms of FY22, what's the kind of growth outlook that we have?
Will continue to focus on the product mix which we are having presently. Our major thrust is towards compact cotton yarn. This is the niche yarn in the world market, and it has got big margins and huge demand. And our 84% capacity is producing this particular yarn. And our focus in future would continue to increase this from 84%, go almost over 90%. So this will be the one. Second is the expansion in Oman, which has happened to run it in full capacity so that it generates the revenue to us. The fourth will be that we are, as per the vision of our promoters and the director, Mr. Chirag Piti, we are looking at forward integration into the complete value chain of textile. That is the garmenting. So we have already looking forward to establish a garment unit in Sohar, and also do the balance of the forward integration in future. That is about the processing and dyeing part of it. So that put all together, the emphasis on technology expansion and technology upgradation would continue. So this 5-6 factor will be the one on which we will concentrate for future.
Right. And very lastly, Mr. Gulia, what are the next milestones that we should be watching out for if we have to look at the company from the next 2 to 3 year perspective?
Right. What we look at in our company is the leapfrogging policy of the company. That means you take a step, consolidate that step, and jump for the next one. And also the step which we have taken in Oman has been now completed. Consolidate on this step and take the next one, that is the next expansion, almost about equal capacity. Along with that, along the balance of the value chain, as I explained earlier, the overall vision is to be the fully integrated textile company in future and be the world's leading combed cotton yarn manufacturer. So we put these together, the entire effort will be concentrated, gravitated towards this particular aim and the vision of the promoters. And that is where we will put our all efforts.
Absolutely. And it looks like a way upwards from here on as well. Thank you, Mr. Gulia, so much for joining us on the show. A pleasure to speak to you. Great insights. Good luck. Stay safe, and we will speak to you soon again. Thank you so much, and congratulations once again for achieving one of the biggest milestones today as well.
Thank you so much, Hiral. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.